Yummy, creamy, my favorite dessert. Before we start, I just wish to share a clip of my Princess Celestine's birthday celebration. She turned 3. Hello everyone, welcome to the Montero World Kitchen. This is your host, Jerry. In this video, I'll show you how to make Tres Leches Flan. Let's get started. We need 5 large eggs, 1 whole can of evaporated milk, a can of sweet condensed milk, about 1 cup of regular white sugar to make caramel sauce. You may also use brown sugar or turbinado sugar to give you extra caramel flavor if you wish. But you may use whatever sugar is available to you, to be honest. Then, we will also need half a teaspoon of lemon juice to mix with the melted caramel to enhance the flavor and keep the caramel from crystallizing too quickly. The next liquid ingredient, or our third leche, is 2 cups or 1.5 can of regular milk. In this case, I suggest that you use the can of evaporated milk as your measuring cup. I think we can now start mixing our ingredients. Using a whisk, start beating the eggs until it's well mixed, like how you would beat a scrambled egg. You may wonder if you should use fresh eggs or old eggs, but I've used both in the past and have not noticed much difference. We're almost there. Next, mix in the full can of condensed milk. Condensed milk are a bit too thick, so you may want to mix a little bit of your evaporated milk to get most of the leftover out of the can. After the condensed milk was mixed with the eggs, add the can of evaporated milk. Then, using the evaporated milk as a measuring cup, pour a can and a half of regular milk to your flan mixture. A can of evaporated milk is about 354 ml, so a can and a half of milk is about 525 ml. So now I'm pouring the first can of milk and then mix it in. And then the half can of milk. Make sure you blend it well. One ingredient that I haven't mentioned yet but is needed for this recipe is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You may use fresh vanilla bean if you prefer, but using the extract yields the same taste, result, and sweet vanilla smell. The only way to tell if the flan mix tastes good or not is to actually taste it. It should taste like a vanilla milkshake. Once the flan mix is done, we can now start making the caramel sauce. Pour the mixture of sugar and lemon to a cold pan. Start your range and adjust to medium heat. You need to use a cold pan to prevent burning some part of the sugar while the rest are still crystallized. After a short while, the sugar would start melting. Using a flat wooden spatula, start mixing the melted sugar into the solid ones to evenly melt the sugar into a sauce and prevent it from burning. In here, all the sugar are almost melted. You still need to thoroughly mix it in order to make sure that you will not burn the sugar. As you can see, the sugar is thoroughly melted. I haven't taken the sauce out of the heat yet and am still mixing because I am trying to achieve a dark mahogany color. The reason why I'm trying to achieve a dark mahogany color is because of added level of flavor. If the caramel is lighter in color, you will just achieve a sweet taste with a hint of caramel flavor. However, if you want a more robust caramel flavor, you would want to cook your caramel sauce towards that dark mahogany color to give your flan contrasting flavor the moment you put it in your mouth. I'm telling you, that contrasting flavor is what will make your flan much better than the others. Now this is the color that we are trying to achieve. We can now pour the sauce into the ramekins. Now pour the sauce into the ramekins evenly. I suggest that you follow a clockwise motion as you do it. This is to make sure you'll be able to finish this process just in time before the sauce cools down, which will harden the sauce back to solid form. You need to do this fast, or otherwise you would need to melt the caramel again once it goes back to solid form. Next, pour the flan mixture into the caramel until the mixture is about half a centimeter below the top level rim of the ramekin. Although I used a ladle to portion the flan mix, I suggest that you transfer the mix into a pitcher to make it easier to pour into the ramekins. Alright, so now it's time to cook the flan. Earlier, I preheated the oven at 350 degrees and placed a roasting pan filled with 1-inch level water. So now, you may place the custards into the water bath or bain-marie. The bain-marie is needed to prevent the custard from overcooking. I remember back home in the Philippines, I saw that folks usually cook their leche flan without the bain-marie. That's probably why the consistency of the flan is very thick and at times chewy on the edges due to overcooking. After about 30 minutes in the oven, let's go and check the flan for doneness. To do this, take a toothpick and stick it towards the center of the custard. If the toothpick is wet, such as in this case, it means the custard is not yet ready and you need to leave it in the oven for a few more minutes. After about another 10 minutes in the oven, let's use the toothpick test again to check for doneness. As you can see here, some of the custards appear done since the toothpick test already came out dry. Therefore, it's time to remove the custards that are already cooked and leave the rest in the oven for another 3 to 5 minutes. So what do I mean about doneness? Okay, so pretty much, as you've seen earlier, we got this toothpick, right? You're gonna put your toothpick like that, put it up, and as you can see, it's clean. No more flan in it. So that's how you can tell that it's already cooked. The next step is to let the custard sit until it reaches room temperature, after which, put it in the fridge to cool. After leaving the flan in the fridge for about an hour, it's now time to plate. Using a small knife, slide the knife between the flan and the sides of the ramekin to break the seal. Then, turn the ramekin upside down and set it on top of the serving plate. Hold the ramekin and the plate together and then shake it up and down until the flan slides out of the ramekin. The caramel sauce will just flow out naturally. Finally, garnish it with a mint leaf. There you have it. This recipe will surely impress your guests, friends, and loved ones. Bon appetit! If you like this video, please subscribe to the Montero World channel. For future video posting notification, please click the bell icon so you know when we posted a new video. And please, don't forget to click like so we know what recipes you wish us to post in the future.